Welcome back, and without further ado, let's get straight on with our second match tonight on the World Cup. Watch the Group B game between UAE and Holland. Now, neither side had won a match so far in the tournament going into this one, but the last time the two teams met, the ICC Trophy final, the UAE won it. Well, the UAE won the toss, they put the Netherlands in, and here are the highlights of the Dutch innings.
Away goes Nolan Clarke. So his bad run at the World Cup continues as he holds out on the covers, and Vijay Mira takes the catch, and Clarke is gone, and Holland are 3 for the loss of 1.
Well, Nolan Clarke had just been tied down for a couple of overs there, and he is a stroke maker, and just got a little bit frustrated here, I think. Saw the ball in the slot, looked to come forward, and hit it in the air, and that's been well taken. So Nolan Clarke just perhaps trying to play shots too early on in his innings, just hadn't got used to the pace of the pitch or the bounce, paid the price for that, and so his tournament really does almost come to an end. So the first wicket falls with only 3 runs on the board.
Flavio Ponso is the new batsman for Holland. He's out there to replace Nolan Clarke, who once again at this tournament has failed at the top of the order. Ponso has a bit more form to recommend him, though. 58th against Pakistan right here on this ground 3 or 4 days ago. End of the over, 3 for 1.
So good start there for Althoff, playing in his first game. Picks up his first wicket in the competition, that of Nolan Clarke, looking to come forward, foot not quite to the pitch of the ball there, and really just didn't quite have the control that he would have liked, and Mira takes that catch. So Althoff, he's pretty happy, but Nolan Clarke, he'll be very disappointed with that. Just a medium-pace bowler, Althoff, really. Not a lot of follow-through, but the point is, with the new ball, he's got the breakthrough. And so UAE will say that the first honours have come to them in the first few overs.
Oh, that's edged, and it's going down to the fence for 4 runs. It was a false shot induced on the batsman, but he managed to slip it through the slip cordon, and 4 runs.
Well, I'm not so sure that actually carried, but again, it was well bowled, just attacking the left-hander, just outside the off stump there, across and away to him. And so Sultan Zarawani there, the captain at first slip. I think it just bounced in front of him.
Well, that's a bit close, padding, and that came back. Not a wise decision to make, but the umpire ruled in favour of the batsman.
Yes, well, if the batsman plays no shot to a ball outside the off stump, it's going to come in, and the ball's going to go on and hit the stumps, it can be adjudged out LBW.
Well, that's a cracking shot. The game has just required that. We're in the 12th over.
I'm sure Asanka Gurasinghe would be very happy with this shot. Full of confidence. So far, his first look in the tournament at him, and straight away he's launched into him. A little bit of width outside off stump. Out goes the front foot. He hits through the ball with confidence. And that's the difference between that shot played by Ponso, the one played by Nolan Clarke. Didn't give it a full flourish, and sort of half played it, got caught at cover. Ponso carried on and picked up the boundary.
And more confident runs. Flicks to a wicket, that's 4 runs all the way. So Ponso quite enjoying this change of bowling. Syed Al Safa is one of the Arab nationals in the side. Of course, there's a strong policy in UAE to include young Arabs in the side, so this is a good but steep learning curve for him. It's one of only 2 nationals in the Emirates squad. There's the other one, Sultan Zarawani, the captain.
Well, a moral victory here for the bowler. Didn't come to anything in the end, but Cantrell, looking to hit down the ground, was beaten in terms of the flight. Threw the shot before the ball really arrived. A half chance back to the bowler. Didn't quite stretch across in time, but you'll see there, he lifts it, Cantrell. The bottom hand comes into play, and almost.
Change the commentary box with Richard Hadley. Here's Grant Nesbitt.
Thank you, Tony. Fielding restrictions off now, 15 overs completed. And that's in the air, and it's just over the top. Not a particularly convincing shot from Aponso, but it staggered over the man at mid-off and went down to the fence for 4.
Well, quite clearly, Flavian Aponso is the man that's in control out there and is trying to get runs quickly. Also, for the reason that Cantrell is just struggling out there, so if the ball's going to be in the slot and with a full pitch delivery, that one, he's going to give it a bit of a whack, and that's the right approach. And it just did clear that man at mid-off.
That's a big hit. And over the line it goes. 4 runs. Beautifully played. Got it up very high. I thought for a moment it might finish up a bit like a pitching wedge and stop. But it's over the boundary for 4.
So a bit of the full flourish coming here from Aponso, and very much the right approach. Just had to reach for it a little bit and got under it. I think had he hit it a little bit cleaner, it just might have gone all the way for 6, but it probably bounced about 15 metres inside the boundary rope. It's still a very positive shot, so he's gaining some confidence now, and that innings of his is really developing. He moves to 32 and having a good go at this bowler.
Calling for the short single, and that's well run. So this has been a fruitful over for Holland. And he managed to get 38 in the first 15 overs. They'd have been a little disappointed with that. And oddly enough, they've got much more aggression now that the fielding restrictions have come off.
Yeah, to be fair, though, the ball did move around this morning and they had to treat it with some respect. Clearly, the UAE pace attack is, well, it's medium pace, but outside the odd wide that was bowled, they still did get some movement off the seam a little bit in the air, and they lost that early wicket too, to the Holland side. And so they had to rebuild that early damage, and now just picking up the momentum. So Peter Cantrell just appears to be in a bit of a rut out there at the moment, whether he's under instructions to just occupy the crease and just sort of really get in and then start taking control a little bit later. Well, maybe that is the plan, but you do tend to think that after some out of overs, you should have more runs on the board. Well, that's a very positive shot from Cantrell. Again, had to reach for it, and he's hit it straight back past the bowler for 4. So that's the first real sign of aggression there from Cantrell.
It also brings up the 50, and at the end of 16 overs, Holland are 52 for 1. This is one of the better performed bowlers in the Emirates team.
Yes, he bowled quite nicely against New Zealand, Dukanwala. Picked up 1 for 46 off his 10 overs there. It was a good performance. Particularly when New Zealand scored 278. So to concede just over 4 runs an over was quite impressive. Dukanwala, born in Bombay, so he's an Indian.
He didn't mean that to go down to fine leg, but it has. Peter Cantrell, and he's got a couple of runs. Not totally in control of it. He's trying to play this down to mid-on, you can see there, and the spin takes effect. And he's lucky to get a couple down to fine leg. Oh, a lot of turn there, beats the keeper. More work here for Altaf, and sticks the big hoof on it. And back they come, and let's see what the umpire says. That's 3 byes. Well, fair bit of turn.
Well, the keeper misread it, and I think I've misread the pitch as well, because I didn't think it was going to turn that much, and quite clearly it's turned very sharply for Dukanwala. It's beaten the batsman, it's beaten the keeper. They've almost beat Althoff down there on the boundary as well. He clogs that one.
Actually, yes, you've had a good morning, Richard. You predicted the team winning the toss at bat first.
I've had an absolute shocker.
Sultan Zarawani in his first over. Well, that's a big loopy full toss. Oh, goodness. Well, almost the undoing of Peter Cantrell. And often the way in cricket, isn't it? You get a shocking delivery.
Well, I think it typifies that Peter Cantrell is just so much out of form out there at the moment that he's not even dispatching the bad delivery, which was the full toss. And the ball just following Althoff around quite a bit there. Bit slow to move, just put his hand out and the ball didn't stick. It is a single for Cantrell. So not a great delivery, not a great shot.
Well, the ball races away down fine, and that'll be 4 runs. It was a stifled appeal, but in fact it came off the bat, and we've seen a number of sweep shots in this World Cup competition, and that's yet another one which brings profit.
Couldn't agree with you more, Tony. In fact, that was exactly what I was about to say. I saw more sweep shots yesterday in South Africa versus Pakistan than I've ever seen in my life before. Well, here's another effective one. Gets it very fine, just wide of the wicketkeeper and inside the man, inside the circle.
We got it. He's caught him. Well bowled, well caught. It's a nicely flighted delivery outside off stump. We talked about the pressure going back onto Aponzo because his partner's scoring slowly. And he was through that too early. We've seen quite a bit of stroke play which has got through the ball a little too early. Take a look at this, Ian.
Yes, he's done a lot of this, hasn't he, throughout the innings. He struck the ball pretty well, Aponzo. On this occasion, he only half hits it, doesn't it? That's the problem. He only gets halfway through the shot. Ball meets bat far too late for his liking. The bottom hand comes very much into play. Lifts it back to the bowler. Well taken to his right by Dukanwala. So Aponzo's gone for 45 at 77 for 2.
Tim DeLeader's the new batsman, right-handed. A pretty crafty performance by the UAE this morning. DeLeader 4 innings, 42 runs. He needs a big one here. Age 28, no 50s, no 100s. So this is Dukanwala around the wicket. Nice action, a little bit of turn and flight, and into the flight goes Aponzo. Bit stiff on the front leg. Just stood up a little bit, and the pitch is clearly a touch on the slow side.
There's a very decisive shot, and it's got through. He hit it well. There was a scramble on the boundary, and that's a good shot by DeLeader.
Well, nothing risky about that at all. It's just a very good cricket shot. And Chandrasekhar just a little bit short and wide of the off stump there. And DeLeader really did execute that one beautifully. And the man there at third man, well, he made good ground. Tried to cut it off at the end of the day. Just a bit of a bobbled in front of him. That wouldn't have helped his cause, but those 4 runs very valuable. And that just might be just a shot like that where the batsman gets something in the middle of the bat, just gets his confidence right, and he thinks, right, oh, I'm in now. And there comes a point of no return where you just got to take control of the match. And something like DeLeader needs to do that.
DeLeader putting pressure on, coming back for the second. That's well run. Well, we haven't seen so much urgency in the running in the first 30-odd overs as he came back for 2 leg byes. In the air, and he's dropped. Well, there's an opportunity for the Emirates, and then there's a piece of misfielding as well. Well, you've got to take those opportunities. Cantrell out at that stage would have been a big blow.
It looks as though he's going to be more positive now, and he's going to hit the ball in the air, just try and chip the fieldsman where possible. Well, that really should have been taken at this level of cricket. So he's been let off the hook, Cantrell.
Mira, who took the first catch when he dismissed Nolan Clark. Leapt up as high as he could go. Probably should have held it, though. Well, we saw those balloons before. They've been released. Some of them have, anyway. That's a nice sight as they float away into the Lahore skyline. That's nicely played. Now there's no one sweeping. 4 runs.
It's now the 11th boundary that has been hit by the Dutch batsman, and it's been a long time in coming since the last boundary. So at the end of the 38th over, it's 137 for 2.
That's in the air and dropped. He got to the ball. 2 hands outstretched, but just too firm, pushed at it, and it popped out again. 148 for 2.
So Vijay Mehra was the culprit on that occasion. He took a good catch to get rid of Nolan Clark, but he's put Peter Cantrell down again. It's his second life, mid-wicket.
And that's out. That's a beautiful catch. Beautiful catch, caught and bowled. We saw one catch dropped at the last ball of 1 over. And Tim, the leader, looking for runs. Hits it low, but not hard, and that's a beautiful catch.
Well, you were just making the point about bowlers and fielding off their own bowling. You don't get it any better than that. It's a magnificent caught and bowled, diving away to his left and scooping it up at grass tip level. Azhar Saeed, be very happy with that. And he should be happy too, Tim DeLader. He's given the innings some impetus. 36 off 47, Holland 148 for 3.
Van Noordwijk is the new batsman, man who got half a century against England. And he's off the mark, first ball. Looks for 2. He's clearly been sitting there, champing at the bit. Oh, let me at it, he's been saying.
Well, he's here because of a very good caught and bowled Azhar Saeed. And just look at this for reaction and commitment away to his left, low down, and scooped it up beautifully, really. You'll be very happy with that one.
Big shout for ABW. These will be leg buys. The ball came on with the arm down the leg side. Very fine. A couple of runs more for Holland. And a big shout, and he's gone. After the long vigil, Peter Cantrell chopping away outside the off stump there, looking for quite a powerful shot. Gets a faintest little nick, and he's gone.
Well, a wicket the first ball of the over and a wicket the last. Azhar Saeed wide of the off stump again, gives him the width to play the cut shot. A definite top edge there, just a faint one as Tony pointed out. Abasi, the keeper, says, I'll have that. Steve Cantrell says, you're on your way, Peter Cantrell. A long and patient innings has come to an end, and he's gone with his score at 47 after 106 deliveries. It's 153 for 4.
Steve Lubers, the Holland captain, is now out there. That's a terrific blow. And he's caught it. It's a long boundary down there. Wasn't quite at the pitch of the ball, but he certainly hit it a long way. But easily caught.
Well, captain gets captain here. Zarawani, the bowler. Lovers on strike, and he's looking for the fence. There's no two ways about that. He's decided he wants to see 6s and 4s struck. Holland need those big shots now. Not quite getting onto it as well as what he would have liked. 10 metres inside the boundary, and that's a catch comfortably taken. So Lovers is on the way, caught by Al Safar for 8, 168 for 5.
Dukanwala, well experienced as a cricketer. Indian Ranji Trophy. Oh, little nick. That might have gone anywhere. But it's gone for 4. Faintest little nick. Might have gone to the keeper's gloves. Races away for 4.
I like the look of this Van Noordwijk, Tony. The innings I've seen him play in this competition. He's got a very good cricketing brain, and there he uses it again. Initially looking to get after the off-spinner, realises he's not going to make it, so he changes his mind on the shot, adjusts, and he adjusts very effectively down to third man.
Well, he didn't adjust to that one very well, but that was a beautiful strike. Wonderful strike. Just flighted up a little bit. And just look at this. The fab straight to the pitch of the ball. Straight 6. It couldn't be better.
This is high in the air. This should be a catch for the skipper, and it is. Zarawani takes the catch. And away goes Van Noordwijk. 200 for 6 in the 47th.
Sultan Zarawani would be pretty happy with that. But Van Noordwijk just missed out there. Again, the approach generally was right. He had to try and get the ball to the boundaries, and as he came down the wicket, the ball was just a bit too short for him to play that shot. He got cramped and really just got under it and really chipped that one to cover. So Zarawani gets the catch, and Dukanwala, the bowler, the off-spinner, gets the wicket. But it was well played by Van Noordwijk. Very good strike rate too. 26 from 19 deliveries. So the 6th wicket is now down for 200 on the board.
Now the new batsman is Baz Zuiderant, and he's out there because of this dismissal of Klaus Van Noordwijk. Got a top edge, and away it went out into the covers, taken by the captain.
Okay.
But in the air, here's another catch. And that's the end of Roland Lefebvre now. So they're falling rather quickly now, the Dutch side, and this is all good news for UAE, because while the wickets are falling, the runs aren't coming.
Yes, very good over for them. In fact, they picked up 2 batsmen who were just starting to get established. Van Noordwijk and now Lefebvre. So it's a good over for Dukanwala and UAE. They're just starting to hold their catches now. And so 200 for 5 becomes 200 for 7. So Lefebvre goes for 12.
And here's Roland Lefebvre's dismissal. Oh, he stumped. Never looked like getting back in. Good work by Abase, the wicketkeeper. And another Dutch batsman goes in the 49th over.
Well, the last 2 or 3 overs have been very good ones indeed for UAE. They've got wickets. They've denied the Dutchman runs. And Zadran really running down the pitch there to have a big heave. Was stranded really and really made no great attempt to get back. Wicketkeeper Abase did the job well. And Dukanwala picks up another wicket. So 209 for 8.
Well, he's bowled off stump. Well, that's not a bad delivery from Dukanwala. He didn't falter and bowl it down leg side. He kept it on off stump, and the batsman played way outside it.
It's been one of the more innovative shots that I've seen in this tournament to date. Goodness gracious. Beautifully bowled.
That's a 5-wicket bag for Dukinwala as Shaver goes, and it's 210 for 9. PJ Bakker is the last batsman for the Dutch. And Dukinwala. Not a bad shot, that. Bowled off stump. Good change of pace once again, and they'll take another run. This should be a run out, surely. Oh, no. He'd given it up, PJ Bakker. He wasn't going to make it, but the return was a poor one.
Chapter of incidents, really. Well bowled, just started to move away a bit too. And it was almost well fielded by Samarasekera. It was certainly well stopped. Recovered quickly, but the return not quite there, and the keeper Abbasi had some problems collecting the ball, and would have been a slightly better throw, or even a better take by the keeper. PJ Bakker would have found himself well short and gave up the ghost, not even in the picture. A bit casual by the wicketkeeper, really. Should have done better than that.
They're going to run, and they'll get a run. They'll get a bye. Although the umpire didn't signal a bye, I'm sure that it was that. Couldn't have been anything else, really.
Yes, well, PJ, he gave himself a lot of room there. It was probably a legitimate delivery. And the wicketkeeper might have had a go at his own stumps there, but Samarasekera, he wasn't behind the bowler's stumps either. So they sneaked through for the bye. Still no signal from the umpire, but we'll take it as a bye. But 216 for 9 is a scoreline that I'm not so sure the Dutch team will be very happy with.
Well, that was a curiously muted performance by the Dutch. In earlier games, their performances were characterised by a great freedom, but today their batters, faced with an attack they really should have scored runs off, looked very, very nervous indeed, and Cantrell was positively snail-like. Not that those UAE bowlers were too upset after the pasting they've had from everybody else in the tournament. They were delighted to be back in a real contest. So 217 the target for the UAE. Highlights of their innings after this break.
And of course that man up in the circle, that fine leg, and that ball's just raced away. So this plan of having that man up in the circle is going to prove quite costly. I'm just not sure the reason why they do that. Traditionally you have the third man and fine leg back on the boundary in a run-saving position, certainly to stop the boundaries. But already it's cost them a number of runs.
There he goes again. He middles that one. That's a colossal blow. 6 runs, not only over the boundary rope, but over the fencing alongside. Terrific shot.
Wasim Akram, Danny Morrison, and now PJ Bakker have been put to the sword from Salim Raza. And so that's a very good hit indeed. Used his feet, got down to the pitch of the ball.
Cracking shot. He may have been somewhere else, but that worked.
Almost one of the shots of the day, actually, because again he advanced down the pitch to the quicker bowler, PJ Bakker. And I think he's really looking to hit that one through mid-off, but really he squeezed that through extra cover. And that bottom hand just coming into play there, but boy, that rocketed away to the boundary. Exciting to watch. A little bit unorthodox, but very effective.
Well, this is more like the attack, he says to himself, having fought against the big sides. This is more like my game. And even that miscue to backward point, which should have been snapped up by a Jaunty Rhodes or a professional player, finds Nolan Clark a little short of pace.
Flavian Aponso, actually, but he's 42.
have to keep Richard Hadley under control here. It's just that quite a few of the gentlemen in orange are beginning to look alike to me.
Here he goes. Big, high one and over. He can hit them, this boy.
Well, there is a man down at long on. So the danger there is he doesn't get it right. He is in trouble. Good use of the feet to the pitch of the ball. He hits up and he hits long, as you said, Grant. It was all carry. It's quite a long hit.
That's gone away very fine. The fine leg is up. Weldon Lefebvre was struggling after it and doesn't make it. 4-leg buys. So 10 runs off 2 deliveries.
Well, this is a great start. And that's, I think, the reaction from being hit down the ground for 6 is to try and get it nice and full. He did that, but he just didn't get the line right.
Well, here he comes. Oh, he's got another 4 over the keeper's head. He had 2 big shots in that over, and they produced for him 10 runs, and for the team 14. Up comes the 50 after 10 overs. Oh, he's heaved that away. Goodness gracious, where's that gone? That's another 6. Salim Raza hits his 3rd 6.
Well, this is a great shot because it's very much premeditated. Look at the footwork here. He's in business before the ball gets delivered. He opens up that stance, and all he really has to do from a bowling point of view, or ask the bowler to put it in the right spot. Put it in my hitting slot, please. Tim DeLader does that perfectly, and over the rope it goes. So if you can just be patient, Salim Raza. Just hold fire for the rest of this over. He's got 6 already. Patience. Be ashamed to get out now.
Oh, he tried it again. Looking to reach his 50 with 1 hit.
Credit here to the bowler because there was a distinct change in pace here, and he's through the shot before the ball arrives. So a moral points victory for the bowler, but moral points victories don't count for anything. Wickets do.
He catches up with that. That's going to be 4. Lobs it over the head of the man at fine leg who was inside the circle, and he races up to 49.
Well, this is not good bowling at all because he could see the footwork. We could all see the footwork before he let it go. And that really is putting it in the hitting slot with your fine leg up inside the circle. That's just really bad bowling, and I'm not quite sure what he's thinking of there, Tim DeLader. But with the footwork, what about a Yorker? How about putting it right around those toes there, which are firmly cast into a hitting position before he's even let the ball go? If he can get it nice and full, he might not get down in time.
Looking for the first 50 of the World Cup. For a UAE player, he's going to get it too. He'll get a couple, and will come back easily for his 2nd, and that is a well-made half-century for Salim Raza.
Well, a small crowd here, but they're seeing what they've come to see. And that's a bit of good cricketing action. And it really has been a fine 50, a match-winning 50. If he can go on a little bit longer, he'll cement that victory. Strike rate 124.
Well, that's a good cricket shot. We've seen some funny ones, but that is an excellent shot. Everything in the right place, and it fizzes to the boundary.
Well, the first 2 or 3 shots in the over perhaps weren't copybook stuff. This is the shot of a master, this. Magnificent square cut. The balance is there and perfect timing. Rolls the wrist, hits it down, and that is a superb square cut.
And he's got it over the fence again. A fourth six for Salim Raza.
Well, he's shown me and he's shown everyone he's not scared to have a look at the off spinner as well. He had to look for 3 balls. This is probably as close as he's been to getting out, because it only just cleared the man at long on. Only by about 10 feet.
Van Oostrom did his best. He needed a ladder, though. Well, he's not afraid to use his feet, and if he's not quite there, he bails out and pushes defensively.
Yeah, number 4 was the number in the over, that's for sure. Will number 6 be?
Yeah, maybe will. Well, that's 5 sixes now, and the crowd loves it at the Gaddafi Stadium. End of the over, 92 without loss.
Well, tremendous hitting there. They were very good cricket shots indeed. Use of the feet, excellent. To the pitch of the ball, hitting under, but very powerfully indeed. God, I've seen some great hitting in my time, but this has got to be right up here with it.
97 without loss. Change in commentary now. Tony Lewis and Sir Richard Hadley.
Floated high and floated far over the boundary line again. It's a long boundary for a long time. I thought it might land in the hands of the fielders. Straight over the top.
Well, that's his 6th now. And Eddie Salim Raza's enjoying himself out there, and Stephen Lubbers just lobbing the ball up there, and it was made into a full toss, really. And the man, in fact, there are 2 men back, one on the long arm boundary and the other one probably about 30 metres from him, so they're trying to cover that area.
Cracking shot. I mean, there's a man down there, what, 15 yards away, and he made 5 yards. First bounce really zipped past him.
Good use of the footwork as well, and quite happy to get a bit of loft on it, but he did hit it very straight. And of course, the ball gathered pace as well off the outfield. Nothing wrong with the delivery, just very well played indeed.
Here we go again. Now he might be caught. He is caught. Super catch. Really good catch. So difficult to stand with the rope at your heels and keep your composure.
Bassadaran takes the catch. And so Salim Raza, who's really entertained the crowd today, and it's been a wonderful innings, but he'll be saying to himself, well, had I been just a little more cautious, I might have gone on to get 100 here. But he did hit some wonderful, wonderful shots. Just got under that one far too much, really. Got a lot of height on it. And Zara there took the ball probably a metre inside the long-on boundary rope. Very good catch. Taken very much the way the Australians like to catch the ball. Well played, though, Salim Raza. 84. Look at that strike rate, though. 68 deliveries. And so he's been caught Zara at bowled Lubbers for 84. So the first wicket goes down with 117 on the board.
So Mazhar Hussain comes in now. Try following that. Well, he doesn't have to, really. UAE know that they just have to play in a nice orthodox way. Let's take one more look at that. Down the pitch, predetermined. Hit it well, but I think he's on the walk. He knows it's not quite got there. It's a very good catch, because only now can Bassadaran take a look down and see where the rope was. That's in the air, into space, and that's 4 runs.
And anything that's fractionally short, Mazhar Hussain is going to get onto the back foot and look to pull. And he certainly did that on this occasion. Stephen Lubbers just sort of dragging it down a bit. Mazhar Hussain looking to get forward, very quickly moved back onto the, rocked onto the back foot there, and had plenty of time to pull it. And that man Nolan Clark, who's in a catching position there, probably 5 metres from the bat, was in grave danger of actually getting hit on that occasion.
Yes, rather against expectations, I think. UAE have played well below their reputations in this tournament, and Holland have probably played above theirs. And it just shows how in one-day cricket, with limited overs, there's a switch of form is possible, as it has been today. As that runs away for another 4. Beautifully played. Mazhar Hussain, he waited a long time for that. Chucked it away behind square.
He's got himself to 15 quite quickly now, and he's played the full shot with good effect, and he's just played the late cut too, very nicely indeed, so he can score runs all around the wicket. Very short in stature, big back lift, had himself a bit of room there. Well played.
And he's caught. Held on the second attempt by Nolan Clark, and the bowling change has worked immediately.
Mazhar Hussain is the batsman. He looked in pretty good touch too in his last 2 innings against New Zealand, and played some very good shots already against Holland. Just had to push wide onto the front foot there, wasn't able to get to it, therefore wasn't able to keep the ball down. Never had the control, and just for a second Nolan Clark didn't either, but he recovered well, held on to it. Hussain gone for 16, 135 for 2.
New man for UAE, Vijay Mira, an important player.
And there was Nolan Clark in the gully. He parried it, and in the end he held on to it. So that's the second wicket to fall.
Good use of the feet here, clips it off his toes. And they should have time for 2.
Take him off easy!
Oh dear me, what a shambles. A run out. A total mix-up between the 2 batsmen, a lot of yes, no, and in the end, they're both at the same end.
I think we mentioned the word pressure, didn't we? And all of a sudden, there's some starting to go on the UAE batsmen, and they're not reacting too well to it. Good shot, as you pointed out, use of the feet down there. Just jogged the first one, the left-hander, Azhar Saeed. And then all of a sudden, he thought this is probably worth 2. His partner, Mayra, decided to come, and he said, yes, no. Oh my dear, I'm sorry about that. And Azhar Saeed, he can't believe it. He stands mid-pitch and he says a few not too nice things, I think, to his partner, but he has to go. He's run out for 31, 137 for 3.
Ishaq Mohammed is the new batsman for UAE, and they might be starting to get a little bit nervous now. 138 for 3. They need to score 217. But the loss of 3 relatively quick wickets will be of concern. Oh, big turn there.
Well, maybe just getting the shakes a little bit in the dressing room, these boys from the United Arab Emirates, and they're starting to get the shakes out in the middle, particularly the running between the wickets. Look at the breakdown of communication here. Good bit of fielding in the deep there. As we said, Holland, they will not give up. They'll chase everything. And a good throw in, and the confusion mid-pitch here. Look, he's nowhere near it. He turns around and he looks at his partner and he says something I don't think that should be repeated. It probably won't be. And they talk about it over dinner tonight.
And that's snuck past to Nolan Clark. And it might even get to the fence. Yes, it does. Well, it really should have only been 1. Clark diving inside the circle.
It wasn't that bad a ball. He did give him a little bit of room, but he only looked to work it for a single initially, didn't he?
That's a good shot. Well played. He let the ball come on to him. It wasn't a shot that appeared predetermined. He played it very naturally, and that's 4 runs.
The UAE batsman needed something like that. They've just been tied down a little bit, and just a boundary like that just sort of breaks the shackles a little bit, and will just to allow the momentum, the batting momentum, to sort of pick up a little bit now. So certainly from Mira's point of view, that was a good shot indeed. He's really missed out on this tournament. Mira, he came here with a fairly high sort of rating, and he picked up 2, 1 and 12 in 3 previous games. Didn't play in the other one. But, in fact, now he's got himself to 21. He just seems to be more settled. And he does have 1 or 2 nice batting skills out there.
Holland need wickets, and urgently. Leg buys, and it runs away. Good save by the man who's a very fine third man. He ran across to the leg side.
So bonus runs there. So Tim de Leader is being just picked off. He's going to bowl leg stump. Could be quite costly.
Oh, he's got plenty on that. And one bounce, valiant attempt by the Dutch fielder to get there. But the big wind-up from Ishaq Mohammed, and it's gone for 4.
Well, I'm sure there's jubilation on the balcony with this one. Just a little shuffle down the pitch, not too far down. He waited for it and then smashed it across the line. 1 bounce 4, nearly went all the way. Ishaq Mohammed kept his eye firmly focused, and away it went.
Well, he's given that plenty, and that's a very good shot. Hit it hard and fairly low, almost carried the distance.
Well, he smashed this. It was pretty flat. He did intentionally lift it, but it didn't go that high, as opposed to Salim Raza, who hit under the ball, got great carry on it. This is flat, and you can just see the trajectory there. 1 bounce and it skids across the rope. Good shot.
Quickly closing on the 217 they need. Well, there's another boundary for you. That's 4 more. So now just 6 runs required. It's 211 for 3.
Well, it's another good shot, this one. This time off the back foot. He waits for it. The only man in danger there was Steve Randall, square leg umpire. It's carried him as well. And 1 bounce 4 once more. Great power.
Goes again, and oh, almost a brilliant catch.
Tim de Leader is the man in the deep there. It's the last ball of the over, and it was well struck. Low catching opportunity, put it down, so Ishaq Mohammed can afford to smile. It's the end of the over. 212 for 3. Last strikes now. Will this be the last over? Ishaq Mohammed will retain the strike. Some very powerful hitting in that over. And really, we're at the last point of this match. Will it come up with 1 shot? Will it be all over with a couple of singles?
Four runs Tony Lewis. I just moved Grant Nisbet out into the presentation ceremony because it's rushed upon us. 4 runs more there.
And you'd be pretty happy, Tony Lewis, with this sweep shot. Beautifully placed over the top of it. Gee, Ishaq Mohammed, he has played some great shots in the last 5 minutes or so. And this is the last ball of the last over, the catching opportunity. Tim de Leader in the deep. And good bit of commitment here, low down. Just couldn't hold on to it.
Well, Emirates have not played as well as this. They probably found their true level, but they still had much more to offer along the way, which they failed to produce, and that will be a post-mortem on their tour. Good class stuff. 4 runs deeper than the wickets. A win for United Arab Emirates by 7 wickets. Just 2 balls in the 45th over bowled, so plenty of space there. And they open their account in the Group B table. Good performance by Holland in a way, but on the day they're most disappointing. I think it was a little unlucky to lose the toss. I think it was harder this morning. The ball moved around their batting, and they'll be disappointed.
So at last, the UAE batsmen showed what they could do. Salim Raza's 84, the decisive knock, coming off just 68 balls and containing no less than 6 sixes. And against that sort of onslaught, the Dutch bowlers suffered rather, apart that is from Roland Lefebvre, whose experience in county cricket served him in good stead. So that all means that the Dutch will finish bottom of Group B unless they can beat South Africa on Tuesday. Right, just before we go, as promised, the news from England in Karachi, where they play Pakistan on Sunday. And, well, I hope you're sitting down, because they've played a practice game today against the Karachi Cricket Association. And you're not going to believe this, actually you might, they've lost it by 5 wickets with 5 balls to spare. Although, just to ease the pain for you slightly, Thorpe and Russell were both batting for Karachi, although in all honesty, they didn't do too much. On the plus side, Michael Atherton got 51 and Dermot Reeve 82 off 91 balls. Robin Smith made 24 opening and Alex Stewart 21, and the word is from Pakistan that those two are scrapping for the final batting place on Sunday. Jack Russell, it seems, is going to keep wicket, although there had been a rumour that he would give over the gloves to Alex Stewart. Today's result, though, well, hardly a confidence boost. So it's England-Pakistan on Sunday morning. Tomorrow, it's a Group A game you'll be setting the alarm clock for, and it's a big match for both sides taking part. Sri Lanka against India, and if the Sri Lankans could win it, it would mean they would probably top Group A and thus play England in the quarter-finals. So we'll see you bright and early in the morning. Until then, it's good night to you.